Are you a Windows fan? Or do you prefer GNU Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Debian, SUSE, Kali? With Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL, you can run a native Linux kernel directly within your Windows session. How? Let's get started. WSL is a feature that allows users and developers to run a GNU Linux environment along with command line tools, utilities, and applications directly on Windows without the overhead of a traditional virtual machine or an old-school dual boot setup. WSL provides tighter integration with Windows, whereas a virtual machine is an isolated, self-contained instance. There are two versions, WSL 1 and WSL 2. Installing WSL on current shipping versions of Windows will install WSL 2 by default, providing better overall performance. However, running a WSL 1 instance may be preferred in some edge use exception cases. WSL 1 and WSL 2 can be used interchangeably, where one instance can be WSL 1 and another can be WSL 2. Here, however, all references to WSL imply WSL 2 unless otherwise indicated. To run WSL 2, you must be running Windows 11 or Windows 10 version 1903 OS build 18362 or later. All SKUs are supported: Home, Professional, Enterprise, and Education. For Windows Server, you must be running Windows Server 2022. Windows Server 2019 only supports WSL, which will not be covered in this video. To install and enable WSL features, you must have administrative rights. Also, WSL distributions are user-based and installed to the user's profile under C:\users, username, \appdata, \local, \packages. Open an administrative terminal or PowerShell session. Type WSL. If you see the default help information, WSL is not installed. Type WSL-list-online to see the available distributions from Microsoft. We'll cover the installation of other distributions not listed later. The asterisk next to Ubuntu indicates that it is the default distribution that will be installed. To install with the default, type WSL-install. The installer will perform three actions: install the VirtualMachinePlatform, install Windows Subsystem for Linux for WSL 2, and download and install the Ubuntu distribution. Once the necessary components are installed, the system has to be restarted. Since you're already at a terminal or PowerShell session, type restart-computer. Following a reboot and subsequent login, a terminal will automatically appear, finalizing the Ubuntu installation into the user's profile. When prompted, enter a username. This username is specific to the WSL Linux instance and can be the same as or different from your Windows username. It is important to note that this first user has full root sudo rights. Once you log into your WSL Linux, immediately update. Once the update is completed, type exit. Now open a normal terminal or PowerShell session and type WSL-shutdown. While back in the Windows terminal or PowerShell session, check the WSL subsystem and kernel version by typing WSL-version. Once you take note of the version information, type WSL-update to ensure everything is updated to the latest release versions. To start your WSL instance, just type WSL. To get information about your installed Linux instance, type cat-etc/os-release, followed by uname-a. When you type exit from a WSL Linux instance, you have only exited the shell. The WSL instance is still running. You can check by typing WSL-list-running. If any instances are running, the distributions will show here. To truly shut down WSL and all running instances, type WSL-shutdown. Verify later with WSL-list-running. Type WSL-status to get status information and the default WSL version. If you want or need the ability to run WSL1 instances, open Programs and Features and click Turn Windows Features on or off. Scroll down and select Windows-Subsystem-Linux. Alternatively, from an administrative PowerShell session, type the command below. With a WSL, you are not limited to a single distribution. You can install as many as you like. Here, we're installing Kali Linux, Oracle Linux, and OpenSUSE. To run any one of the particular distributions, type WSL-D or WSL-distribution, followed by the distribution name. With Windows Terminal, each installed distribution can be started in a new tab by clicking the down arrow and selecting the appropriate distribution. A manual installation will install and enable WSL1 by default. Once we update the WSL kernel, WSL will then default to WSL2 with support for WSL1. Open an administrative terminal or PowerShell session and type either set of commands shown. Restart when completed. Alternatively, you can open Programs and Features and click Turn Windows Features on or off. Select both Windows-Subsystem-Linux, VirtualMachinePlatform, and restart the computer when the changes are completed. Log in and again open an administrative terminal or PowerShell session. Type WSL-status. At this point, WSL only supports WSL1 as indicated by the text. The WSL2 kernel file is not found. To enable and default to WSL2, type WSL-update. When completed, again type WSL-status. Type WSL-version to get detailed information. Type WSL-list-online to get the list of available distributions for installation. Similar to Windows 10 and Windows 11, to do a typical installation, open an administrative PowerShell session and type WSL-install. However, on Windows Server, this command installs and enables both WSL1 and WSL2. Likewise, as with Windows 11, you can do a manual install with the command shown on the screen. The download and installation of a Linux distribution follows the reboot. Finalize the WSL installation by providing a username with password when prompted. WSL usage is the same as with Windows 10 or Windows 11. To install Linux distributions that are not shown with the WSL-list-online, you can find some in the Microsoft Store. Open Microsoft Store and search for Oracle Linux. We're going to install Oracle Linux 9. Select Oracle Linux 9 and click the Get button. After downloading completes, click Open. Notice that Oracle Linux 9 is now installing. Provide a username and password. Check distribution information and download and apply necessary updates and patches. Type WSL-list-v to check installed distributions and their version numbers. The next time you start Windows Terminal, you will see the new distribution, Oracle Linux 9, listed in the drop-down menu. In a scenario where you cannot install an unlisted distribution from the Microsoft Store, you can download and manually install Linux distributions using the links in the WSL documentation site. Here, we're going to download and manually install SUSE Linux Enterprise Server 12. Click the link to download the Apix package. Go to your Downloads folder, double-click the Apix package file, and click Install. Leave the Launch When Ready checkbox checked. After the installation completes, provide a username and password. The next time the Windows terminal is opened, you will see the distribution /-12 listed in the drop-down menu. One of the main purposes of WSL is to ease cross-platform development. Visual Studio Code is perfect and purpose-built for this use case. With VS Code open, download and install the remote development extensions. Once installed, close VS Code and open a Windows terminal or PowerShell. We can launch a distribution with VS Code at the same time. Type WSL-D Ubuntu code tilde. This will start your Ubuntu distribution and launch and connect VS Code to your home directory. If prompted, click Yes, I trust the authors. Notice in the left corner, VS Code shows that you are connected to your WSL instance. Open a terminal within VS Code and notice that the shell is bash. If you have other shells installed, VS Code will reflect the shell that is currently in use. Launch another distribution. Type WSL-D Oracle Linux _9 code tilde. To open a specific folder, specify the path at the end. Type WSL-D OpenSUSE-leap-15.4 code /etc. Notice now that you are in the /etc folder. It is important to note that when you close VS Code and shut down WSL instances, when VS Code is opened, it will automatically reconnect to the last instance to which it was connected. To prevent this behavior, go to File and select Close Remote Connection. WSL2 with Windows 11, you can run Linux GUI applications natively. There's no need to have a third-party X server running. Our Ubuntu WSL instance has the Nautilus File Manager, FreeCAD, and QGIS installed. To run, start your WSL instance and type the application's name. In some cases, you may get some GTK or other warnings. To suppress them, type nohup followed by the application's name and the ampersand sign. If you have a good graphics card, you can leverage its capabilities for your graphic-intensive and GPU-enabled applications. And you can run normal Windows applications alongside your WSL Linux GUI programs. Removing WSL distributions is an easy operation. Here we're going to remove Ubuntu 18.04. Ensure the distribution is not running by typing either WSL-terminate Ubuntu-18.04 to terminate that particular distribution, or by typing WSL-shutdown to terminate all running instances. To remove, type WSL-unregister Ubuntu-18.04. Optionally, you can delete the distributions folder with the command shown on the screen. Once a distribution is removed and unregistered, it can be reinstalled at any time. If you notice closely, you will see that each WSL instance has the same host name as the Windows host computer. This may not be desirable in many situations. The configuration file, wsl.conf, is used to configure settings on a per distribution basis and is stored in the distributions /etc directory. By default, a new distribution will not have a wsl.conf file. It has to be created. The file can be created and edited from within the running distribution or from the Windows host. Once the file is created with the desired entries, restart WSL using WSL-shutdown and wait for a minimum of 8 seconds before restarting your WSL distributions. Notice now that each distribution has its own unique hostname. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something new, and found it helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, and share with those close to you. I welcome your feedback. Please leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts or suggestions. And thank you for watching.